Chapter 33. Brothers once more. The day after the storm, Darius started looking for Alaric to discuss the matter with him. Day turned into night, but he couldn't find him at any of the usual spots. Luckily, on his way back, he saw Alaric sitting on the stairs of a building, staring at an old office in front of him. Darius sat beside him and asked, "What are you looking at?" Alaric replied, his eyes fixed on that old office, "I'm looking at a failed legacy." Darius didn't understand. Before he could ask, Alaric said, "Look at that place. What's up with it? That's where Ralph and I lived a fraction of our lives. When I look back, I really miss those moments. He was different back then." After a pause, Alaric added quietly, "I miss him too." Silence settled between them. After a while, Darius spoke. "Hey, Alaric, there's something I really want to talk about." "Then speak." "Yesterday, Ralph took me somewhere to fight." Alaric's expression tightened. "So he took you there too? You know about it? What is that place?" "It's not about the place," Alaric said. "It's the system. Rich people from across the states gather with their best fighters. They bet, and then the fighters fight. But you know the saddest part?" "What?" "They don't care about the fight or the art. They just love blood and torture." "Yes," Darius said. "They wanted me to kill my opponent." Alaric clenched his jaw. "The whole thing is like people setting roosters on the ground to fight while the crowd watches, and no one cares who survives." He continued, "Last year, when I went there as a spectator, a fighter killed his opponent in the ring. Do you have any idea what they did with the body?" Alaric looked straight into Darius's eyes. Darius couldn't speak. "They burned it," Alaric said. "And then, cooked a feast from it." Alaric stood up. "Ralph has gone down the wrong path. I tried to explain it to him, but he didn't listen. That's why we've been fighting lately." Darius got up too, his voice serious. "He's gone down the wrong path. But you've been doing the same." Alaric stepped closer. "I want to build a legal fight club, where every fighter is valued, not where fighters are clowns used to entertain a bloodthirsty crowd." With that, he walked away. Darius stood there, speechless. After a few days, one night, Alaric was at home cooking dinner when there was a knock at the door. He opened it and found Ralph standing there with his girlfriend, Camila. Alaric was shocked. "Is everything all right?" he asked. "Yeah, everything's fine," Ralph said. "Can we come in?" "Yeah, come in." They entered the house. Both took a deep sniff, and Ralph smiled. "What a great smell. I could never doubt your cooking." Camila added, "Maybe these fighters are good in the kitchen too." Alaric stepped closer. "What are you doing here?" Ralph replied calmly, "Alaric, I know we have our differences, but..." "But what?" Alaric cut him off. "Life is living hell with you." Ralph glanced at Camila. "Go sit there. I'll be back." Then he turned to Alaric. "Let's talk." He took him outside, somewhere private. "What do you want to talk about?" Alaric asked. "Do you know why I was doing all this?" "Yeah," Alaric said. "Because you're an asshole." Ralph sighed. "I did it for Camila." "Oh really? What a loser you are." "Listen," Ralph said. "Camila's father was the head of one of the biggest mafias across 4 states, you know that. We were deeply in love, but he didn't accept it. I was poor, powerless, and nameless. I did this to gain his respect." But what?" Ralph smirked. "I guess I'm not doing this anymore." "What do you mean?" "Her father died today. There's no one left to stop us." "Really? No more dirty business?" "I don't believe you." Ralph reached into his pocket, pulled out a card, handed it to Alaric, and said, "We're getting married next month. You must come, and bring Darius too, if you want. Alaric stared at it, surprised. Is this real? So you're telling the truth? Ralph placed a hand on Alaric's shoulder. I swear to God, no more dirty business. Let's make our dream come true. Let's build the biggest legal fight club, where every fighter, like you, is valued. Alaric smiled. A tear slipped from his eye. After a long time, the two of them embraced. They went back inside together. Ralph opened a bottle and poured drinks for everyone. Camilla sat on the couch, smiling quietly, watching the two men who again felt like brothers. Alaric raised his glass. To stupid fights, he said. Ralph laughed. An even stupider pride. They clinked glasses. The tension that had lived between them for years slowly melted away. They talked about old days, missed chances, dumb mistakes, nights when they had nothing but dreams and hunger. Camilla laughed at their stories, shaking her head. I can't believe you two survived that long, she said. Neither can we, Ralph replied. For the first time in decades, they were simply happy. No blood. No shouting. Just peace. The wedding day came quietly, and beautifully. The hall was warm, filled with soft music and murmured conversations. Alaric stood near the entrance, straightening his suit. Beside him, Darius struggled with his jacket, pulling at the sleeves. This thing is choking me, Darius muttered. Are you sure this is my size? Alaric glanced at him and smirked. You should lose some weight. Camilla walked down the aisle, radiant, eyes locked on Ralph. Ralph stood frozen for a second, then smiled, wide, genuine, almost boyish. When they stood together, hands trembling slightly, it felt like the world had finally decided to be kind. The ceremony began. The priest cleared his throat and started speaking about love, patience, and forgiveness. Then, the doors slammed open. The music stopped. Every head turned. A middle-aged man walked in first, calm and confident. Behind him were 5 bodyguards. 4 of them wore black suits, sharp, professional. But one stood out. He wore a casual jacket and jeans, hands in his pockets, eyes roaming the room like he didn't belong there at all. That's what made it worse. The room went silent. Ralph's smile faded. Alaric felt his stomach drop. Camilla's grip tightened around Ralph's hand. The priest stopped mid-sentence. The man took a few steps forward, his shoes echoing against the floor. He looked around, then smiled slightly. Well, he said calmly, looks like we're right on time. Chapter 34. Another bet. The room turned serious with the arrival of those men. Ralph moved forward, his face tense, and said to their boss, "What are you doing here, Vincenzo?" "You really are a clever man, Ralph," Vincenzo replied. While they spoke, Darius leaned toward Alaric and whispered, "What's happening?" "Who is he?" Alaric spoke quietly. "That's Vincenzo Scaletta. He runs one of the largest weapons businesses. Number 2 among the strongest families across the states, and the most loyal to Camilla's father, who was number 1. We call him Four Fingers." "Four Fingers?" Darius asked. "Why?" Alaric gestured with his eyes. "Look at his hands." Darius glanced down and frowned. "Both his hands have only 4 fingers." "Yeah," Alaric said. "Camilla's father cut them off to punish him. And yet, he stayed loyal, like a dog." "Then why is he here?" Darius asked. "I don't know," Alaric replied. On the other hand, Ralph faced Vincenzo. "Well, what do you want now?" "You took an oath to be loyal to Silvio Rossi," Vincenzo said. "Yeah, so?" Ralph snapped. "I was loyal to him. But you weren't supposed to marry Camilla." Camilla suddenly yelled, "Well, he's dead now." Ralph added, "Yeah. He's dead. So my oath ended with him." Vincenzo smirked. "I wish it ended that way. But before he died, he gave me one last order." The guards raised their guns. "To kill you." Vincenzo stepped closer to Ralph. He knew you would try to marry Camilla, so he gave me direct orders to kill you. But... Ralph swallowed. You're right, Vincenzo continued. He's dead. But also I'm no betrayer. I must fulfill his last wish. So, we'll do this the traditional way. Shock spread across Ralph's side of the room. Ralph was trembling now, sweat forming on his face. You really want to do that? He asked. Of course. Ralph met his eyes. Then what's the bet? Simple, Vincenzo said. If you win, Camilla is yours. If I win, I take her. Ralph paused. I accept. Vincenzo stepped back. Then I choose my fighter, Elias Thorne. He pointed to the man in casual clothes standing among guards in black suits. Elias Thorne, 6'2", 220 pounds. A brutal fighter. Cousin of Vincenzo Scaletta. A man who had won him countless fights, earning him the title of number 2 across the states. Darius understood instantly. So that's the case, he whispered. Vincenzo turned to Ralph. And who is your fighter? Ralph looked at his friends. Then at Darius. He stepped closer. Darius, are you ready? Darius hesitated. Before he could answer, Alaric placed a hand on Ralph's shoulder. I'll be your fighter. Ralph froze. He hadn't expected that, not this time. The moment dragged him back to the same choice they'd made nearly 2 years ago. His eyes softened. He turned to Vincenzo and pointed at Alaric. He'll fight for me. Vincenzo burst out laughing. Elias joined in. Even the guards, who had remained stone-faced, smirked. You want him to fight? Vincenzo said. I thought you'd choose that black guy over there. This man isn't even close to Elias's weight class. They laughed again. Then Vincenzo suddenly raised a hand. Oh, wait. Let's change the bet. The room went silent. If I win, I will take Camilla, Vincenzo said calmly. If you win, you take Camilla and my entire business. The air turned heavy. Everyone froze, even Camilla. Darius whispered, is he serious? He's insane, Alaric muttered. Ralph stared at Vincenzo. Are you serious? I get your whole business. Vincenzo smiled coldly. Do you really think he can beat Elias? Stop thinking about my business, and start thinking about her. Because tonight, you will lose her. He turned toward the door. Tonight. Our usual place. As they left, Elias glanced back and said with a grin, you can have my house too, if you win. Chapter 35. The final claim. The night of the match arrived heavy and electric. The same place. The same ring. The same crowd that once watched Darius fight for Ralph. Only this time, everything mattered more. Darius stood beside Alaric, his voice low but firm. You can win this, he said. He's nothing in front of you. Alaric turned his head, met his eyes, and nodded. Thank you. As Alaric stepped forward, Ralph placed a hand on his back. You can do this. Inside the ring, Elias Thorne was already moving, throwing punches into the air, snapping kicks, sweat dripping down his face before the bell had even rung. He looked like a storm that couldn't wait to break. A referee stood between them. His job was simple, explain the rule, ring the bell, declare a winner. Nothing more. Elias rolled his shoulders and smirked. I always give a warning before a fight, he said. I'll give you one too. Surrender and walk away. Otherwise, I'll kill you here. Alaric didn't flinch. He smiled, calm, almost amused. That's very kind of you, he said. But I politely decline. And I always like to introduce myself before a fight. Elias laughed. Sure. I should know the name of the man I'm about to kill. Alaric straightened, his voice steady. Elias, they call you number 2. You're proud of it, and you should be, because it's the highest and most difficult title anyone could reach. Elias's smile faded slightly. Alaric continued, but do you know who they call number 1? No, Elias replied. Who? Alaric lifted his chin. Me. I'm number 1. For a moment, Elias tried to laugh, but something in Alaric's eyes stopped him. The rage. The truth. You're Alaric? Elias asked, his tone changing. Yes. I am Alaric. Elias nodded once, deadly serious now. Then tonight, I'll be the one they call number one. The referee stepped in. One rule only. No weapons. The fighters moved to their corners. The bell rang. They circled each other, slow, patient, like two lions measuring which one would fall first. Elias struck first. A sharp jab. Alaric dodged and countered with a brutal uppercut to the chin. Darius exploded with cheers. Camilla smiled, her hands clasped tight. Ralph watched silently, unreadable. Elias staggered but recovered quickly. He went for a takedown, reaching for Alaric's leg, but Alaric was faster. An elbow smashed into Elias's neck, followed by a knee straight to the face. Still, Elias stayed standing. Finish him. Vincenzo shouted from ringside. This time, Elias waited, baiting Alaric. Alaric didn't move. Elias thought he'd found a weakness. He rushed in with a knee, stopped it midair. Alaric reacted instinctively, opening his guard, and Elias's punch crashed into his face. Alaric stumbled back. Elias charged. Alaric grabbed him at the waist. Fool! Elias spat, wrapping his arms around Alaric's neck, tightening the choke. But Alaric twisted, fluid, flexible, and drove his fingers into Elias's eyes. Elias screamed, stumbling back. Alaric gasped for air. Rage took over Elias. He rushed again, trying to wrestle him down. Don't play dumb. Vincenzo roared. Alaric stepped in close, hands on Elias's shoulders. A knee slammed into his nose. Blood exploded. Still, Elias didn't fall. They traded punches now, raw, brutal, senseless. Two men fueled by pain and will alone. Then Alaric shifted. One punch, straight to the throat. Elias froze. Collapsed. Silence. Then chaos. Cheers erupted from Alaric's side. Faces on Elias's side went pale, jaws dropping, eyes wide. Alaric stepped back, breathing hard. Vincenzo rushed into the ring, cradling Elias's head. Elias. Elias. Wake up. He checked his pulse. Nothing. Vincenzo slowly lifted his head and looked at Alaric, eyes wide, hollow. He stood. Walked toward Ralph. Alaric tensed. He knew this wasn't over. Ralph met Vincenzo's gaze. We won, Ralph said. Camilla is mine, according to the bet. Vincenzo shook his head. No. Ralph frowned. What? Camilla, Vincenzo said calmly, and my entire business, both are yours now, according to the bet. The words hit the room like a shockwave. People froze. Camilla gasped. Darius stared in disbelief. Even the guards exchanged confused looks. It felt unreal, like the world had tilted off its axis. Vincenzo laughed, clapping Ralph on the shoulder. Everything is yours. Alaric stepped forward, his voice cutting through the noise. He doesn't want your business. Keep it. He's out. Vincenzo laughed again, and suddenly hugged Alaric. Quietly, into his ear, he whispered. He's always wanted that. Alaric pulled back, stunned. Vincenzo turned to Ralph. Come to me tomorrow. You'll get everything. He began to leave, then stopped. I don't believe in God, he said, smiling faintly. But thank God. I'm finally out. Now I can live peacefully. And with that, he was gone.
Next chapter's dropping soon. Subscribe so you won't miss it.